This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, this is the Ramble, and I am Alex. And we just had a little bit of trouble there with our audio because what happened? Here's what happened. Oh well, I don't. You don't want to know how the sausage is made, do you? What happens is I've got this machine, and when it gets down to like, I don't know, 4 megabytes per second in memory, it then reboots its memory, and when it does that, you get that little jiggly sound like you just got, and then I forgot to turn on my lights, I'm getting too old for this crap, okay? I'm too old for it. I've tried. I've really tried, folks. Anyway. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm just terrible and screwed up and, can't do this anymore. Oh, boy. I'm telling you. Wait a minute. We got Charlie. Charlie, you're going to have to call back. Because I know what I can do. I can just put you back in the waiting room. Oh, yeah. Put in waiting room. There we go. And then I got to do something here because my view changed. Oh, life just it doesn't give me any breaks, does it, huh?
No breaks for the wicked.
No breaks for the wicked. Hello there, Phil. How are you?
I'm all right. I bought some new equipment, and it's a pain in the ass at this point.
Really?
Yeah, I got a new camera because the other one continually in the last couple weeks was blurry. They said that if you uninstall and reinstall the software, that will cure it. It didn't. No. So I got the same green screen as you, the Elgato. Mm-hmm. All right. I wish it was a little wider, but it's all right. And the software that comes with the camera, the Elgato Face Cam, doesn't allow me to move things around as much as the Logitech.
You would have been. I'll tell you. I looked at that. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I use Elgato products a lot. The green screen is an Elgato,
right.
And a couple other things I use are Elgato. I can't remember what the hell they are right now, but I use them. And I saw that face cam, and I looked at the specs and everything like that, and I went, the Brio, in some cases, can be found for $150, and it's a much better camera.
Well, this was 1080p at 60 frames a second. It isn't.
The Brio is 4K.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
It's just that I decided that for this I wanted 1080p was fine.
Yeah.
But there
have been a lot of complaints about that camera.
Really, it's pretty clear
that it doesn't do everything that it should do for convenience.
Well, that's probably true. It's pretty clear, and I'm still trying to adjust it. I bought a ring light, and that was a disaster. I thought the ring light would be tall enough.
That's what my lights are Elgatos as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the ring light was just a cheap Chinese piece of garbage, and that's going back. I don't know what I did with the box.
Well, Elgato has a ring light.
Yeah. Well, and then when I experimented with the ring light, it put little circles in my glasses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the other problem.
Yeah. So the ring light's going back.
Here, I don't think you can actually see my lights. No, you can't.
No.
With my glasses on.
But you're doing a good job of lighting your place, and I know that you don't have much extra lighting in that. You have a desk lamp, right?
What?
You just have a desk lamp in your office?
What do you mean? Here?
In your office, yeah.
In my office. These are Elgato big lights.
Okay. So you've graduated from what you had before.
Desk lamp, that was a long time ago.
Okay.
First, I got one of these lights, and it only lit one side of my face. So then I bought another one, and now it lights both sides of my face, although one is a bigger light than the other.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but it's nice, But nobody wants to know how the sausage is made. I said that a moment ago.
Yeah. Well, all the other people that call in ought to get better cameras, better mics, and better lighting. If they're going to add to the show, that's and they can buy all of that on the Gabnet store.
Yeah, the Gabnet store has all these things for sale.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Now, let's see what's going on.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Hold on. Hold the presses.
You don't say, how's it with you, Alex?
Yeah. Well, didn't I say, how's it with you?
Well, I said, it's okay. And then you just went on, blah, 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 and I got the camera and the bada.
Well, then I didn't really want to hear how it was
because it's
with
all
you.
about you, isn't it, Phil?
That's true. It's always about me.
We decided to buy, we got a new stove.
Yeah, did it come yet?
We're very happy with the stove. Yeah. We're very happy with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrific. It's got Wi-Fi. I can operate the whole thing from my iPhone.
Yeah, maybe you can do the show from the stove.
Yeah. But anyway, so we got that. Okay, so we did that, and that was okay. Then we decided, well, time to replace the refrigerator too. Mm-hmm. So we called PC Richards and we ordered a new refrigerator. And today we had our super come up to disconnect all the hoses and everything that go in it, so that when they come to take it, they just pull it and take it away. And he looks at it and he says, let's measure this a second.
Uh-oh.
And
the new one doesn't fit?
Well, he says, this wouldn't fit in the elevator. I said, how'd you get it up here? He says, I don't know. He says, that was like 2003.
Okay. I move, my company moves refrigerators all the time because we do people's kitchens.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to remove the door.
Yeah, we know that.
Okay.
We know that. So
not the door to the apartment, the door to the refrigerator.
Yeah, I know. He said, let's look at what you're getting. Okay? And I said, okay. And he looked at it and he said, okay, now we'll look at, they had a thing in there. How wide it is, how deep it is. We had to worry about the depth because the width was too wide. Okay.
Yeah.
The depth with the doors, it said there without doors. Okay, with the doors removed, which I guess you can do pretty easily. I guess.
Well, somebody can.
Yeah, somebody can.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, well, let's see here. That's pretty good. We can. How much without the thing? He says, not enough room. He said, it's 28 and a half inches, and this is 28 and 3/4. He said, you want at least a little bit of room so that you don't scratch or dent anything.
Yeah.
So he suggested that we had to call and cancel it.
There's two depths of refrigerators.
Yeah.
There's a 24-inch and there's a 28-inch. So one of them goes even with the countertop, and the other one sticks out beyond the countertop.
Right.
Now the one that sticks out, you get more space in the But the other one may be the size that you need.
Well,
what
I
they
know
call it
that.
is countertop depth.
Countertop depth probably will make it if they take the doors off.
Right.
Okay.
Are you going to be able to get the old one out?
Well, that's what I asked my super, because he was going to take it. And he said, well, let me think about it a second. And he said, yeah, but we're going to have to chop it in half.
Wow. How'd they get it up?
Huh?
They didn't carry it up 8 floors.
I have no idea how they got it up. They didn't, they will not carry those things any more than 3 floors. Now, I don't know if in 2003 they wouldn't have gone all the way, or he didn't pay somebody extra to haul it up.
Well, they do make a hand truck for moving refrigerators on stairs. And what it does is it tilts it, and it's got wheels and rollers on the bottom of the hand truck so they can go up and down staircases. So if they've got that, it might cost you a couple $100 to get it out of there. But yeah, chopping it up is good too.
No, well, he said he thinks he can get rid of it just by either denting it, okay, it, or pulling the doors off, then denting it, and then maybe he said by chopping it in half.
Well, think about this. What happens if he dents it and he still can't get it out? You're going to have that in your not in your elevator lobby, but in your foyer from now until eternity.
Well, I think it's his. Once he agrees to take it, it's his job.
Yeah.
So, if he says he can do it, he can do it. But he said it's a good question. He says I have to figure this one out, but he said we can figure it out.
That's amazing. You would think, well, the elevator can take people, so it's not the elevator door; it's the door to the apartment.
No, it's the elevator door.
I see.
The door to the apartment's wide enough.
Yeah.
The door to the elevator isn't. The door to the elevator is exactly 28.5 inches.
Wow. I wonder what the width of a wheelchair is. Isn't a wheelchair?
No, it's a little thinner, much thinner.
Yeah.
And we have somebody with a wheelchair in this apartment house who,
Yeah. Well, there's guys that come around to your store and they see if everything that you have is ADA and wheelchair accessible.
Yeah.
And if it's not, this guy's suing, and he has hundreds of lawsuits in the area, and his objective is just to settle.
Well, I mean, I just don't know what we're going to do. Let's say this refrigerator goes bad on us. I mean, I'm sure that our guy, our super, can get it out. He says he'll just, dent it, bang it, chop it in half, do whatever he's got to do.
The age of your refrigerator has like coils on the back, right?
No.
Oh, there's no coils on the back.
No.
Huh. Yeah, that's perplexing.
It's very perplexing.
Yeah.
Plus,
well, he saved you a lot of aggravation.
Either that or we've got to pay to get this refrigerator fixed because the door is kind of cattywampus. It has a problem. It lost a little something on the bottom, so it doesn't stay open when you open it up. It needs new stuff around
the seal.
Seal. That's not difficult to do. Okay, but nevertheless, we'd like to have a new refrigerator. This thing's 2003.
Yeah. Well, do you think they got it through the window?
I don't know. The windows aren't wide. The windows aren't wide enough.
Okay. It was just a thought that maybe they used the block and tackle from the roof and just brought it up.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But it's amazing to me. I have no idea. But we'd like to get a new refrigerator.
Yeah, and you'll be able to.
But we'll have to get one that's got less room in it than this one.
Yeah. Now you said that you got an extra refrigerator for a different room. Right?
Well, that was it. That was like a mini fridge. It was like a what do you call it? A beverage cooler,
a wine refrigerator.
Yeah.
Can you get 2 refrigerators in your kitchen?
No.
No. Okay. I'm just thinking that maybe you have a butler's pantry or something. You can put one fridge in, and then put the other one in the kitchen where it goes, and this way you have double the amount.
Well, that's
of room.
one way of thinking about it. Then we got to do something with this new one we got.
Well, I didn't think you took the new one. I thought you canceled that.
No, the new mini fridge, the beverage cooler.
Well, that's good. Is that in the butler's pantry?
Yeah, but I don't know if we could get it in. If we could move that in here, I really don't know.
Yeah. Well, think about it. You could always get a smaller apartment-size refrigerator for the pantry, and that would give you the extra room for those things that you want that don't fit.
No, we got to figure out something for this.
Yeah. Well, you just don't have enough space in that apartment.
Hmm?
Yes.
You don't have enough. Well, wait a minute, hold on a second. I got a cramp in my leg. I got to stand up when that happens. God, I'm getting old. So I mean, it's the problem with this apartment house. I mean, it's so old,
Right.
right? And they were supposedly in the first building. He said the elevator in that one is wide enough, and I'm going, well,
Yeah.
why didn't you put a wider one in this?
Oh, and you can't. There's no hallway to get you from one building to the other.
No, no.
When I was growing up, a friend of mine lived in a house that was built in 1900 or 1903
Yeah.
up in Scarborough, which is near Briarcliff Manor.
Yeah.
And this house was so old, and the kitchen had a ice box. This
Ice box. I had an
The
ice box in San Francisco.
Really, well, this had about 15 small doors. These doors were maybe 16 inches square, and the ice box was maybe 8 feet wide. And it had several of these doors from the bottom to the top. And so you'd open the door, and that's where you'd put the food.
Mine actually just had one big thing that opened up. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you had a refrigerator ice box.
no, I had an ice box.
Yeah.
Ice box.
It was built into the wall, or
Yeah, it was built into the place, and it had the thing up above for the
Right.
ice,
right.
and then it had the center part, which had a handle on it, one of those kind of like freezer handles,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's how this was, except there was multiple doors because this house was built to have maids living there and servants. So they would, they had this box in the kitchen, and no matter what room you were in, if you pressed a button or pulled on a string, it flipped a card with the number on it, and then that's how the servant knew which room to go to give the resident attention.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is, so anyway, this is a real vexing problem we got to figure out,
Well, I got a feeling the way to handle it is a second refrigerator somewhere else in the general proximity of the kitchen.
I don't know. I don't even know if we can get this through to what's called the pantry. If we moved it,
Yeah.
and then we'd have to remove a whole bunch of shelving we've got up. But I mean, that would be an answer, but I don't think we can move it in there.
Yeah. Well, eat less.
Yeah. I mean,
It's one way to go on a diet.
it's a pain in the ass. I mean, it really is.
When my kids were growing up, there was a book, and it was called "If a Mouse Had a Cookie." And so, if you give them a cookie, then they want a napkin, then they want a glass of milk, then they want this, then they want that. So everything grows on you when you try to do one good thing. Then all of a sudden you get faced with all of this other BS that you got to deal with. It's not fair.
So, what's happening in the news that you want to talk about?
England,
England?
the UK.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can pull up the thing. What they are doing is they've eliminated all mandates, whether it's for the jab, whether it's for masks. Of course, where can I? Got to find the England ends all COVID passports, mask mandates, work restrictions. And so forth. Johnson also suggested self-isolation rules may be thrown out at the end of March.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've got less of a problem there now. So they're just adapting to it. But you bet if it comes back full force with some other version of it, they're going to throw those rules back into force.
Yeah. Let's see. Is there anything else going on? 5G. Now, I need a new phone. This phone has the LTE deal.
Well, this is a 5G right here.
Yeah. Well, they may not let you on planes anymore.
Well, they might not let me on planes using the phone.
Well, CEOs from major U.S. airlines
wait a minute.
warned...
You're wrong. You're wrong. Because it isn't the phones that's causing the problem. It's the transmitters.
The 5G.
It's the 5G transmitters. So
Right.
what they're going to do is a lot of the airlines, a lot of the 5G people have said they will lower their 5G to 4G near airports, within 2 miles of airports.
Oh, gee whiz. Anyway, they're saying that the technology could ground planes.
No, it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
All they got to do is turn off 5G around airports. That's all. Period. Otherwise, they're good to go. And why didn't somebody think of this before? I mean, where was the FCC in all of this?
Well, they were making sure that nobody said anything positive about Trump.
Yeah, right, exactly. No, they made sure people were going to say things positive about Trump. You got to remember who was the head of it.
Yeah, well, no longer. Did Biden appoint somebody new?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Fourth shot COVID vaccine can't prevent Omicron. Well, they still don't have a cure for the common cold.
Well, Omicron is a very minor version of COVID. Yeah. However, the vaccine was very effective against Delta.
Yeah, and Delta's almost gone.
Yeah, because we've got the vaccines.
Yeah,
and the rest of the people who didn't have them and got Delta are dead. So
Well,
less Republicans for us.
Yeah, more parking spaces for me.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's not much else going on. We finally figured out a way that Kamala Harris can't put her foot in her mouth anymore.
How's that?
She just says, Google it. If she's asked a question, she says, Google it. Are you going to be running again?
Can you tell me a time when she put her foot in her mouth?
Every time she opened it.
No, wait a minute. Come on, that's unfair.
Hey, I don't have to go to the border. I've never even been to Europe. She's
been to the border.
Yeah, but not the border where the problem is. She went to another area of Texas that didn't have the problem, didn't have all the people living under overpasses and things like that.
Listen, let me ask you something. Yeah. You're a Republican, right?
Yeah.
What do Republicans have against people voting?
Nothing.
They apparently do.
No, they just don't want to go back to pandemic rules for voting.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. All the rules that were made up were rules that made it easier for people to vote.
Right.
Okay. Shouldn't it be easier? Wait a minute. Shouldn't it be easier for people to vote rather than harder for people to vote?
Yes, as long
as... the Republicans want to make it harder for people to vote.
No, they want security, and they want to make sure that the people who are voting are the people that are allowed to vote because they're U.S. citizens.
No, Phil. No, Phil.
And the ballots.
No, they're trying to make it more difficult for people who are minorities who would have a tendency to vote Democratic to vote. I mean...
Why is it that that many more Hispanics and blacks are for photo ID to vote? I think that what's happening.
Do you have that statistic, Phil?
Yeah, I've heard it.
You heard it. Where did you hear it?
I heard it on the radio.
Which radio?
The radio that you don't listen to.
Oh, I see. Okay. See, what I'm saying is you're not backing up your theories that a majority of the people who do this do that. No, not necessarily.
Somebody had that theory and had the statistic. I just repeat it like...
oh, I see. You just parrot it because it suits your own needs.
That's true.
That's true.
Now, but the other thing that they're afraid of is that because of the pandemic voting and the number of things that were instituted to make it much easier for people to vote, it could be rife with fraud. And
I see, rife with fraud. Right. Okay, and you don't think that the Republicans are trying to create their own form of fraud?
I heard what's his name, Biden, say it doesn't matter how many votes you get; it only matters who counts the votes.
Did he say that?
Yes, he did.
I didn't hear him say that.
I heard he was at a news conference, a press conference.
Really, you heard him? You actually heard him say it?
Yes. Now, if you ask me to find
Now,
the quote,
what was that quote again?
It doesn't matter how many votes you have. What matters is who counts the votes.
And what was he referring to?
I thought he was referring to the election.
No, maybe he was referring to the way Republicans do business.
Well, you can imagine whatever you want,
because that seems to
pretty
fit.
nefarious to me.
That seems to fit what the Republican, something out of the Republican playbook, which he was probably trying to describe.
Well, I don't think so. But,
I think so. I think so.
Well,
but that's what I want to believe.
That's what you want to believe. Oh,
yeah.
Canada, big truck strike because of mandates, vaccine mandates.
Yeah.
What is this? 16 truckers in Canada? They all went on strike.
16 truckers?
Well, is
that all country. It must be all the truckers in Canada, right?
Well, Trucker Steve isn't driving anymore.
Yeah.
I wonder if he has any insight to the trucker strike in Canada.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you say 16 truckers went on strike.
More 16 plus.
Oh, 16 plus.
All right. 100,000 protests in France against proposed new COVID-19 vaccine pass. So,
how many people there?
100,000.
100,000. How many people live in France?
I don't know. They don't have any underpants.
Oh, jeez.
If you live in France, you don't have underpants. You know this. You've heard that, right? It says French authorities say 105,000 protesters took to the streets across the country against a draft law that essentially would ban unvaccinated people from public life. So
I'm all for that.
Well, I'm sure you are.
Yeah. It's
just that, I think people would get the vaccine if it wasn't mandated. I think, when you see, I watch these YouTubes and they show people getting pulled over in their car. Many of them happen to be black. And there's incidents usually between the police telling the driver to do this or do that or get out of the car. And they don't want to do it because they don't like to be told what to do. Well, I have a feeling it's that same mentality that is behind people saying, I don't want to get the vaccine if you're telling me I have to. Now, I got vaccinated, but nobody told me I had to at the time. I wanted to. And I think that other people would want that too. Yeah.
Sometimes we have to make mandates whether people like it or not.
Yeah.
Okay? Oh yeah, people aren't going to get vaccinated because we make a mandate. Well,
yeah. Well, Emmanuel Macron, it says here, Emmanuel Macron, he's the French president, his recent comment of people who hadn't been who hadn't received the COVID-19 vaccines.
Emmanuel Macron? Is it
Emmanuel?
Emmanuel Macron.
Right. He says, I really want to piss them off. And we will continue to do so to the bitter end. That's the strategy. It's not just American tourists they want to piss off.
So if it says here that Verizon and AT&T delay 5G, if they did that, how come my phone when I let me turn off my
ringer?
No, if I turn off my what do you call it? My no, here we go. If I do this, all right.
Turn the Wi-Fi off or something.
Wait a minute. Oh, if I turn the Wi-Fi off, it says 5G. So I don't understand it,
Well, maybe it's really not 5G, and it
What?
just says 5G, and it's doing that to fake you out.
No, wait a minute.
And the only
Hold on
way
a
that you
second.
can really get 5G is to get the
Wait a minute.
vaccine.
I'll turn the Wi-Fi off, okay?
Yeah.
And then I'll bring this down like this, and you see right here. There we go. You see where it says 5G?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you
Right
can
up in
see
the
that.
corner.
I think you can see that, folks, right up there.
Yeah.
So
a little blurry, but you can make it out.
Yeah, we do have 5G, so
Gee whiz. Gee whiz.
Gee whiz. Yeah.
Hey, next year it's going to be 6G. they took us from 3G. 4G.
I hope I live to see 10G. I hope I live to see 10G.
Well, 10Gs is $10,000.
Do you know there are TV sets they're making now that are 8K?
My camera's 8K.
Yeah.
Well, my photo camera.
Yeah.
And it does video as well.
My GoPro is 5K. So,
Yeah.
so. But there's not a TV set I've got that can show it, so it doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, well, yes, it does, because I don't understand video very much.
I know you can blow it up more.
No, you can. You shoot it at 8, and then you render it at 4. And what it does is it gives you a better picture for the final product.
Yeah.
Or better video.
I don't care. Wait a minute. Do you mind if I bring some people in here to join us?
Don't mind at all.
Huh? I know you don't. You don't mind.
I don't like Charlie to wait.
Yeah, and here comes Charlie, and here comes Alan.
All right.
So there they are.
Bringing them in.
Wait a minute. Boom! There they go.
I gotta change my view.
You got to change your view. Why?
Because I have you large.
Oh, I see. You have to change it from in your view mode from gallery to gallery. I think it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll all wait for Phil to get his thing right. Okay.
Yeah.
He's trying to find the 10G.
Yeah. And hey, I'll take a check.
Really?
10G.
Oh, okay.
10G.
But anyway.
A good thing he's not a comedian.
Yeah. So yeah, I can't. I can't. Oh, there's a thing that says view. There's more stuff. Gallery. Okay.
Phil's.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I told you to go to gallery, didn't I?
Well, it didn't appear so quickly. You know, it was not.
Oh boy. Anyway. Charlie,
Give him a break. He's getting to be an old man.
Have you gotten the answer on why the Republicans are against people voting?
Yeah, because they said it back in 1980. Because it's better for the Republican Party with fewer people to vote.
That's true.
So they're not interested in making it easier for people to vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't have any idea what they have against people being able to vote. That's all. I think in fact they're not patriotic because they have their job, and their job is to uphold the Constitution, and the Constitution has rules about voting, and they're not living up to them, and they're not standing up for the Constitution.
Who's not standing?
The
up
Republicans.
Are you kidding me? You know, we think that the Democrats are trying to ruin the Constitution. That if there is an amendment, they want to get rid of the Constitution. Matter of fact, I've heard you say it a number of times that, and Jack as well, that Jack is looking forward to a constitutional, where they
convention.
Convention, yeah. And,
where they rewrite the Constitution. I think it's about time we did. But the only problem is, the way our society is formed today, we could not agree on that Constitution.
Hey,
so, it'd be a waste of time to try.
Yeah,
they did a poll of people, and all they did was quote the Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
And a majority of Americans did not, they didn't tell them it was the Bill of Rights. They say, do you believe in this? Freedom of press, freedom of whatever. And
but they preface it.
Said no.
Charlie, they preface it by saying, Adolf Hitler said, or something like that. And they say that so and so said something about you should have the freedom of religion and the First Amendment, Second Amendment, and they'll say what it is without saying it's an amendment.
Well, I mean,
and these people don't know. They have absolutely no idea.
Hitler was against the press. He called them fake.
It's true.
Yeah, we had a president like that too.
Yeah, we did.
And
but it was true
Hitler
there.
and fake.
Well, that's because Hitler made the news, and Trump just had to react to it. The fake news.
I think Trump's getting very close to getting some kind of real bad legal problem. So,
Alan keeps saying that, and he sends me this thing, and it says that New York AG has got dirt on Trump. Well, you know, she
No,
could
no,
say
no,
she's-
no. They've got the goods to go ahead and prosecute him, but
they've
it's
been
not
saying
it's
that
not
for a
it's
while.
not a felony.
Oh, what is it? Parking?
Huh? No,
Parking
it's
tickets
just that
unpaid?
what they've got on him is not a felony.
Yeah,
It's
it was
a-
an infraction?
it's I think it's
Change the law in New York, make it a felony just for Trump.
yeah.
Well,
right.
so what was it? Was it parking and not paying the tickets?
No.
Lying to people to get.
Well, to begin with, here's what Trump did. What they've got him on just one thing. He said that his apartment in Trump Tower was 33,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Turns out it's only 11,000 square feet, and he was taking a tax rebate based on the size of the apartment.
I guess he's going to have to pay. But that's not going to put you in jail.
No, they didn't say it was going to put him in jail. But
He's
that,
got a fall-off measure.
you know,
Now, maybe
I mean,
the rest
that's
of his-
that's a lying son of a bitch. I hate to
No,
I hate
no,
to
wait a
hear
minute.
how long he thinks his penis is.
Well, maybe his offices as well as his apartment. You know, he lived in his offices basically, and it may be combined, not just the living area but the office area. Maybe that was 33,000
I think
feet. It
Trump
could have
has
been.
problems with math. He told Melania, "Come marry me. I got 9 inches." She got here and it was, 3 inches.
How do you know?
Because he's not good with math. 11,000, 33,000. It's a third of it.
It divides into it.
Internet inches.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think these are minor things. They
Yeah,
need to go
that's
after
Well,
the
that's
people.
it for tonight, folks. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
and-
yeah, Alan, you killed us.
Alan did.
Yeah.
Hi, Tony.
Another
How you
penis
doing?
joke.
How you doing, Tony?
You know, you mentioned Hitler. I don't want to change the topic, but to get back to Hitler, I was going to tell you, Alex, I took a
Wait,
library
wait,
book.
I never
out
heard
of-
you say that before. Not to change the subject, but to get
know.
back to Hitler.
Only for one reason. You know why? I was reading on Charles Lindbergh. Do you know he was a Nazi sympathizer?
Yes,
this guy?
absolutely.
I never knew
So
that.
was Henry Ford.
So was Henry Ford.
Yeah.
Big time. Big
Yeah, I didn't know that.
big anti-Semite.
Holy shit!
What was the
I
name
was
of the
thinking-
newspaper?
I
The
was gonna say-
Dearborn something or another, and he had owned a newspaper in Dearborn, Michigan, that was completely anti-Semitic.
I thought it was the Grosse Point, Michigan.
No, I think it was a Dearborn something or another,
Oh,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because there was something else also in Grosse Point, a newspaper that was anti-Semitic, and that's
Yeah.
where he lived, I believe.
Well, let's see. Henry Ford newspaper. Henry Ford newspaper. Paper. Whoops. Wait a minute. Okay, a Henry Ford newspaper, and what we've got is the Dearborn Independent.
Oh, okay. So what was the Grosse Point paper that was also anti-Semitic?
Hmm?
There was a Grosse Point, Michigan.
I don't know about that, but they've got a thing here. It says on PBS, Ford's anti-Semitism on the American Experience. Is
Oh,
that
really?
going to be is that a show they're doing, or is that just something on it?
Talking about anti-Semitism, you know, that guy who came over from England 2 weeks ago and then decided to go to services at a synagogue in Texas, according to the FBI, you know, he wasn't a terrorist. You know, he wasn't trying to commit terrorism or make the people uncomfortable at the synagogue that he visited. Right?
What's
The
that?
That's what the
FBI did not say that.
Yeah. What did the FBI say?
The FBI did not say that the guy was not a terrorist. In fact, every article I said, everybody's calling him a terrorist.
Right, and he was.
Yeah.
And he was.
Well,
right.
nobody said he wasn't a terrorist.
The FBI tried to say
No,
he
they
wasn't
didn't.
a
No,
terrorist.
they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Not
From
that
the
I
very
heard.
beginning,
Where? Give us a reference.
they
Where did you
they
hear
called
that?
it an act of terrorism. From the very
Yeah,
beginning.
After, but in the very beginning, they weren't ready to.
Well,
say
of course,
that this guy-
many times they're not ready to do that initially. Okay?
So they do the investigation.
Yeah.
They don't jump
Yeah.
to a conclusion like you do.
No, you mean like you guys do because Trump did
Oh,
this, he's
no,
guilty
you
of
know,
that.
that's
They
unfair,
pissed-
Phil.
They,
Phil.
the dossier. You know?
Phil, it's not fair for you to try and use the same argument against us that we're using against you. You have to come up with a new argument.
That's what Democrats do.
Because that's like a little kid going, I know you are, but what am I?
That's what I know what you are, but what are you?
Yeah.
You know, we can't let Tony get away with that background any longer.
No.
My sister wants to redo this room soon, but I have a hard time. I'm gonna have to pull. We don't know when we're gonna fix
Oh
it.
no, Phil, Tony,
Bill
listen to
will
me.
send you a
Listen to
check,
me.
Do it whatever way you want.
Listen to me. There's certain things in this country that should not be changed, and
Washington Monument.
one of them is your background.
I know. You know, I never forget when you said that. I went over to Becky's house.
She has to change it and all of that, we'll buy you a green screen. We'll give you what Phil's got there, and you can have it all the time.
Well, I
I
got
wish
this
you could
thing.
saw the old kitchen, Alex. I told Shecky, my old kitchen. I was looking at old photos. She had wallpaper when we lived downstairs with little like chickens on it in the kitchen. Because I had a picture I found. I was on the floor in the kitchen when she
Can
was
I
cooking.
ask you something, Tony?
she
How
loves
the
that.
hell did you live with this woman?
I miss her, but you know what? She was kind. My mother was like, she never left the house really.
I want to know. I want to know how
This is why I am with my complex.
how Tony's mother let Tony stay in the house this long. You know,
She used to fucking dote on me. That was Alex. You have me pegged. Everything she did was. My sister looked at the pictures. I don't want to make the show about me because I'll let it go on this.
Oh, let's
Why
make
not?
it about
I
you.
always make it about me.
I feel like I'm on your couch and you're like, well, what else should I do, Doc? But Alex, you know what it is?
What?
My sister looked at the pictures. She tells my brother, says, you know, she saved all his report cards, his booker. Where's our stuff? She goes, and my brother's like, he was the favorite. Let's be honest about it. But my brother didn't care. They were laughing about it. But Alex, when you said that day on the show about the wallpaper, I never forget when the next morning I walked by and I went like this. I said, oh my God, he's right.
it's Tony. It's not just the wallpaper.
Well,
it's the curtains.
people could see it better on Phil's shot because it was done at a time when you had left the camera
Yeah.
and it had adjusted for the background. And so there you really see that wallpaper, and it is so hideous. and it looks like something that would have been in the Bates house. Okay.
Now I sent this.
She thought it was great, Alex, too. With a little plates on the wall.
I sent this wallpaper to Charlie, to Alan, to a number of people,
It lives on. I love it. I love it.
and
Charlie.
I
It lives
wanted
on.
everybody to surround you.
Oh, look,
with,
we got
with the wallpaper.
Yeah, now we've got Alan. He's got
Oh
the
my
same
God,
wallpaper.
horrible.
But what is that circular thing? What is that?
That's a plate.
Is that a
That's
plate?
her plates, Alex. Her angel plates. She better be in heaven. She's got
Alex.
then we order all these
She
things. She's
can't
got
be in
food
heaven. She
plates.
didn't bring her angel plates with her.
And you got to see how many humbles I got in this thing. I mean, if we ever move out, I'm not throwing any of this stuff out. Like, I'll save it. I mean, she's got so much stuff.
Did you say she has Hummels?
You know,
Yeah.
like the little angels. I used to always buy her one.
Oh, those are angels, but the Hummels aren't necessarily angels.
Oh no, humbles. We got the humbles, like the little statues, like somebody holding a kite. When the
Oh,
store went out of
boy.
business on the avenue, I went up there and I was buying it for like half price.
I think
You know,
I think all this explains it, Tony. It really
does,
does.
yeah. she had molded me into her. Really, it's like anything she wanted. I mean, I would spoil her, so it's like I wouldn't tell. Because if you told her how much something was, she'd be like, "What?"
Well,
Like, she didn't
anybody
understand
want to
that.
bet Tony's had coffee tonight?
I did. I have a pot. I had a Dunkin' Donuts and parcels with my brother, and I got a pot here.
Thank you, Alan.
My brother went to a cookie
Well,
place.
no,
with his
Alan
girl.
sent him.
He was going for cookies.
Alan sent him decaf.
Yeah, he sent me good stuff.
Decaf is
He's
good
spoiling
stuff.
me.
Decaf is for sissies.
No, it's not decaf. It's medium blend Dunkin' Donuts.
But isn't it decaf you sent
what?
him?
So
No, it's not
Tony,
decaf. Oh.
Tony sent me a book.
I did. I thought of him. Yes, I did. Yes. Did you
Yeah.
like it? I think it's up your
Wrong
alley.
without Republicans.
It's for beginner photographers, so I think that he knew my skill level.
Well, I know Alex always said you need to work on it. I didn't mean it like that. I think it's up your alley for the photography. Because Alex says you got to work on your pictures. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't know what you do. I don't know how to take pictures, so I just figured it interested you. And plus, I got it on sale on Amazon too.
The camera that Phil just got without the lenses or anything costs more than most people I know
Yeah.
make in a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but
Yeah.
what does he have to do with his money? He's not buying hookers.
Yeah.
How do you know?
They can watch. Or you get one of those glass tables like Danny Thomas.
Yeah.
You really got that?
You lay under the table.
Well,
and
if
fine.
if Phil is in any kind of condition like I'm in, and he had the whole prostate removed, I imagine activity in that part of the world is pretty well nondescript.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can still think of it in your head. Remember the old days?
This is the rarest camera available right
Oh,
now.
wow.
This is what everybody wants. It's called the Z9. Let's see, that way.
Is that? No, what is it?
Z9.
In a couple weeks, it'll be on sale for $49.
Nobody can get them. It was only available to Nikon professional service members, and it won't be available to the public really for another 4 or 5 months.
Oh,
People have put this on eBay, and they're asking $10,000 to $12,000
Oh.
for it.
How much did it cost you?
6.
Yeah.
Ay,
my mother would have had a heart attack, Alex, if I said $6,000 for a camera. That's
Yeah.
her food bill probably for like 8
I
months.
told-
What's
I
wrong
told
with a
him
brownie?
I told him
Exactly,
just
yeah.
upgrade his iPhone.
Oh,
Get an
my
iPhone
God. I wouldn't pay that
13.
for a comic book. I mean, I have
There
one,
you
but
go. Now you see, you use that camera and try and go get some good shots, and you can do some very interesting stuff with that camera if you could find film for it.
Yeah, not only find film, but try and get it developed.
What type of film does it take?
120.
Yeah.
120.
Here,
Well, you looking it up?
No,
No.
I got the box.
Oh, you got it. Okay. Oh, that's
Wow.
nice. So you got something to play with a little bit. You can take pictures of my wallpaper in your house.
Yeah. And I got 2 rolls of C120 Kodak.
And nowhere to develop it.
Yeah,
Is
well,
that
that's
old
true.
film now?
I imagine there's someplace you could get it developed.
This film,
In fact, you could probably
Expired.
develop it yourself. Do you have formula? Do you have a fixer?
I
and-
used to. In that place in Sausalito, I had my own dark room in the basement. This was on sale for $1 a roll.
I used to
and-
develop my own color film,
Oh, really? Yeah, I only did black
and then
white.
I would blow it up and do color. It's a very long process when you do it at home.
When you blew it up, how'd you put your lips on it?
That was cute.
Yeah.
Hmm? I don't get it.
I'm sure you don't.
My Walgreens still has a photo counter, so I assume you can take rolls of film.
Do
there.
they have those? Those little.
And I also have the Rayovac batteries,
Oh, those are
25 cents.
Wow.
Look at that.
Really?
Look at that. Came in a box.
I bought a
Put
th-
those
I
in
bought a
your new
camera
camera and
that I
sell
bought a
them to
camera
labs.
that shot 3D, and then you sent it in and came back. And you remember those lenticular photos that were in 3D? You just looked at them and they were 3D.
Oh, really?
Yes.
They
were like holograms.
And you kind of had a screen that you could rub your finger along and play songs. You know.
Oh no, I never
That's
saw
a
that.
lenticular screen
Oh.
where it had ridges in it.
I got
Okay. And
Flash.
I had one of those, and I shot a lot with it. In fact, somewhere I have a 3D picture of Robin Williams
Oh, really?
that I
That's
took.
cool.
Yeah. So
Well, you see, all my toys.
yeah.
But nah, I like old cameras, and I like new cameras. So the new one is mirrorless, and sometimes I shoot at events, and it's supposed to be quiet, and if you ever hear like the president speaking, and there's hundreds of cameras going off at the same time in their DSLRs, and you hear the mirror slamming. Well, with the mirrorless, there's no mirror, and it shoots silently, and so it won't
Kind of like
disturb-
you right now, right?
Yeah, it won't disturb the speaker
Mm-hmm.
or Tony.
Marjorie just sent me a refrigerator that she found. Aren't you asleep?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's like my mother, remember? She
What,
never-
what refrigerator? Now, Alan knows about refrigerators. He was in the appliance repair business for a while.
Well, this was
Really?
one from Home Depot, but I would imagine the PC Richards has it. You know. They have almost
Everything.
everything
Well,
available.
now, Alan, what happens if you try to cut a refrigerator in half? Does that release gas or some sort of
No,
freon?
both halves turn into a Republican.
Yeah, no, seriously. Is there any freon or anything like
Of
that?
course, there's Freon. I mean, why would you cut a refrigerator in half? What are you going to do? Weld it back together?
No, they
No,
want
he's gotta get it.
we want to chop it in half so we can get it into the elevator.
Bring Phil and let him sit in your kitchen. Everything will.
He
chill.
said he could cut it in half, so he probably knows where to cut it in half.
Yeah.
I never heard of this cut it in half thing.
Well, we have to in order either that or dent it so that we can get it in.
What about you have stairs?
Yes, so
floors?
eight flights.
Okay, but they have in a city like New York or San Francisco, they have powered dollies. They put it on, and it's motorized dollies, and it comes right up the stairs with you.
You got to turn. It's too difficult. It's too difficult in our apartment house.
Buy
I'm
a
telling
bar refrigerator. It's about this big.
you. I know. I don't care.
He's got one.
You know.
He just got it.
What?
Didn't you? You said you just got a bar refrigerator.
Yeah.
That's good enough. Let the super have the old one, and
No, he's going to take it, and then he said he can. He says he can maybe dent it and get it in the elevator to make room.
take the door off the refrigerator first.
Yeah, they would take the door off
Yeah.
first. Then they would dent it because it still wouldn't be you know.
It's a big refrigerator.
Yeah, it's
How
bigger.
did they get it up there?
Hmm?
How did they get it up
That
there?
we don't know. It happened in 2003, and I'm not talking to the guy who rented us the apartment much.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm not going to ask him, how'd you get that damn refrigerator
Maybe
up
some
here?
of him and his buddies pulled it up by dolly up 8 floors. I don't know.
That'd be crazy.
It'd be absolutely
yeah, but
nuts.
it's been done.
Yeah.
I'll bet the couch that's behind Alex. in
I
the
have a
kitchen there.
couch. This couch had to be brought up 8 flights of stairs, and we
Absolutely.
had
I
to
was
pay
just gonna
extra.
say-
And we had to pay extra for that.
I was just going to say that thing had never fit in an elevator, so they could do the same thing with a refrigerator.
Well, actually, only one piece of the couch wouldn't fit in the elevator. The rest of the parts of it would. So.
Chainsaws work good to shorten couches.
Yeah, but I mean, the question is getting the old one out of here. We can get one that fits in the elevator. It'll be a little smaller, but we can get one that fits. So,
Good.
it's a vexing problem. I hate
Yeah.
vexing problems, but.
What's going on tonight? Is there a game or some sports event?
No,
or-
I'm just not popular anymore.
Oh, well,
Nobody wants
Use-
anything to do with me.
you should use deodorant.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
Well, I heard Biden gave a speech today. I was listening to a little bit of it, not much. So
Did he fall asleep?
it was a long one. I was just hearing a little
2
bit.
hours.
Hey,
2
also,
hours
the
today.
crowd fell asleep.
I keep saying Biden should not get on TV that often. He's on every single day, and every single day, he's to begin with, he's looking at the camera like this. Okay.
Squinting.
Yeah. And
Well,
and
he-
and
He's
I-
looking at his
The
teleprompter.
teleprompter.
No, but
Yeah.
sometimes when he's just talking to people, he's that way. I mean, I think that he more often than not should have people speaking for him. If it's a
Sure.
topic is a financial situation, bring in the guy who's the Secretary of Finance or whatever, the Secretary of the Treasury. If it's health, you bring in the Secretary of Health, Education and Welfare, or whatever. He should keep himself off TV as much as he possibly can. Then people will maybe somehow look at what he's doing or not doing with a little better perspective. But when they add, am I right? I mean, and then he's on too
He's
much.
like Trump. Trump tweeted all the time. This guy's on TV all the time.
He's on TV sometimes twice a day. What do you
I
think,
know.
Charlie?
Well, I tend to agree with you that it was better the first few months when he wasn't on TV every day.
Yeah. But do you
when
think
he was
do you
hiding
think
in the basement.
do you think it's helping his numbers, or do you think it's hurting it?
His numbers are 33%. How according to Quinnipiac, he's at 33%.
That's according to the lowest one. The highest one is somewhere in the 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know,
Well, Quinnipiac, you always said was very accurate.
No, you know, there's no such thing as accurate. There's polls, and there's the damn polls. You know, somebody once said. I mean, you can't rely on the polls all that much. What's going to happen?
I think his numbers are down because of he's not getting the voting rights bill passed.
I think they're down because of the gas is $5 a gallon out here.
I think
meat is at all.
Well, who was it that said one time? Make no mistake about it, it's the economy, dummy.
It was that guy who was married to the Republican commentator, and he looks kind of weird. And he was a Clinton. He was in the Clinton.
You're not
White
talking
House.
about. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the guy.
About
who said
James Carville?
Yeah,
no,
that's
I don't
who
think he said it. Somebody else said it.
It's the economy, stupid.
Okay, it's the
That was
economy.
Bill
stupid.
Clinton, wasn't it?
No, I think it was James Carville. But hey,
Yeah,
somebody
but
look it up
Carville
and make
worked
me wrong.
for Clinton.
Clinton, right?
Yeah, but you know, I mean, I think that the set piece issue in any election is how's the economy, because if people go to the grocery store, meat costs too much, and they can't fill up their car with gas without having to go to the bank for a loan, things like that. This is the stuff that makes people say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I don't like what this guy's doing." And by the way, the economy right now has nothing to do with Biden. All these problems were set up by Trump.
I don't know.
Oh, absolutely.
Biden
Phil,
made
somebody
sure we weren't energy.
I watched somebody today who said, anybody who thinks that today the problems in the first year financially with the economy is a fault of the new incoming administration is out of their mind. That this was all set in stone and the wheels were started by the previous administration.
He had a whole bunch of executive orders the first day that closed down that pipeline is coming down from Canada. He allowed the Russians then to move their fuel into Germany, and now the Russians are starting to hold the Germans hostage. He made us from energy independent and an exporter.
Phil, you're giving one example of something he did which may or may not
that's
have
a pretty
that.
big part of it. Anyway,
We're still a major exporter of oil.
no, now we don't have the oil that we used. Who's Bob Q?
Bob QK. No.
Bob QK.
Yeah, we may get rid of this pretty fast. Hello, are you there?
He's muted.
Are you there, Bob? Are you going to turn on your mic, Bob?
That Bob QK. That could be Catherine.
It could be.
Yeah,
It could be.
she used to have some sort of
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. I have no idea.
yeah.
Bob QK, are you there?
He's not going to be there if his camera's off. and
Ask
his
to
mic is
unmute.
Yeah,
muted.
mic's off.
I'm trying to. Okay, well, Bob QK, it's almost gone here. I'm not going to wait.
He's
much.
probably sitting back in his room, looking at his computer.
No, here we
and saying,
go now.
Nobody can get on.
Bob,
Yeah.
are you there? Who is this? Who is this?
Speak into the mic.
I'm going to have to get rid of you. I'm going to get rid of
Bye
you.
bye, Bob.
Bob, you can speak into the mic.
Yeah, I'll put you back in the waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
You can sit there and, what's the word I'm looking for? Marinate. Anyway, no, but I mean, economic problems are not set by an immediately new administration. Okay.
Well,
And no matter what he did, forget about all that stuff with the oil and stuff and so forth. The fact is that a lot of the things with the pandemic have caused a lot of the economic problems that we have, which he had no control over. And Trump did have control.
He had a plan.
What?
He said he had a plan. He was gonna get rid of this COVID. that was the reason he was elected, or one of the main reasons is that he said he had a plan and that
He
was
never
going
said he was going to get rid of COVID.
Yeah, he said he was going
How,
to
how
get
could he do that? How could he control
Well,
that?
then maybe he made a promise that he couldn't keep.
Oh yeah, and where did you see this news?
Yeah, you sent it to me.
No, I didn't.
But you know what? It didn't make any sense, Alex, too. And I'm not trying to pile on Joe here, but like, perfect example.
No.
Now, with the handing of these free COVID kits, don't you think he should have gave us these kits months ago?
Well, I want to know what happens if you have a family of 5.
You're shit out of luck.
Yeah, I mean,
You're gonna have to
ask.
You're gonna have to ask me for one. You know, I ordered the kits as soon as they came out,
Yeah.
and then I tried to get them for Faye, and they said, "Oh no, you can."
No,
only
because
get
I
4
tried it
per
for
household."
I tried it here, and
Yeah.
they said, "Well, no, it's only 1 per household, and your household already has ordered them."
Then I tried to send it to the store, and they said, "No, you can't send it to a commercial address." And so, you know, that was the way it worked. So people are going to be mugging people for their COVID kits.
Selling them on
Well,
eBay.
I'm just asking. They're sending out 4. Suppose you have a family of 5. Look
Yeah.
at Brian.
I guess you're going to
Okay.
have to pay. You know, if you
You
want
can
more,
buy them for $20 a piece online.
right? So if you want more than 4 kits, you're just going to have to pay if you can find them.
And plus the
They're all
fact,
over. They're on
that it's going to take them
Amazon.
up to 12 days to get them to you.
Right.
By then, you
I-
could have had COVID and died.
I ordered them on Amazon last week and I got them yesterday. Took
So
them
are you
5 days.
positive?
Huh?
Are you positive for Omicron?
No,
Okay.
no, I haven't tried them out. I haven't
Those
been around.
home kits are not necessarily, am I right, Charlie, considered to be particularly a good.
I don't know about these kits. The ones that were available before weren't all that accurate.
Brian doesn't think that the home kits are all that accurate.
I
He
guess the other
he
day-
sells the good ones.
Right.
Yeah, he sells home kits too. But so the accuracy, the FDA said that they will not give EUA, emergency use authorization, to any home kit that is not at least 80% accurate. So 80% accuracy is better than nothing.
Yeah, but the
PCR
question is, do we need the kits now? I mean, everything is on.
Yeah,
sure.
No, everything's going downhill.
No, but if you don't,
Not
you know,
New York,
most
it's
people.
Oh, yes,
most,
it is. New York
Yeah.
is down by 52%.
Oh, yeah, downhill that way.
A lot
I
of
think you meant
people.
downhill
Big
bad.
body bags, yeah.
A lot of people are asymptomatic, and they're out giving people who may not be asymptomatic, may be very susceptible to COVID and can get very sick.
So
you
they
know,
take
they're
one of these
vulnerable.
tests. They take one of these tests, and they turn out to be positive. Do you think those people are going to stay home for 5 days or 10
I
days?
hope they would.
I would hope so too.
There's
Me
no
too.
guarantee of that, and there's no guarantee that anybody knows they tested negative or positive. In other words,
What do you mean, a false
here's my
positive?
question. Let's say I get COVID, I get Omicron, and I get a bad cold, and because I got the vaccination,
Or you
it's
end up
just
in the hospital.
it's just no, it's a bad cold. Okay, so
Oh.
I just stay home, under the covers, watching TV, going in and out of my coma or whatever that happens when you get the flu, and then I'm over it. How do they know that I got
Yeah.
it? How do they know that to add me
They
to the
don't.
statistics?
They don't.
So we
That's
don't
why
know.
we say that's an underestimate.
We don't know actually how many people have realistically had COVID.
That's right.
No, you don't.
I wonder
yeah.
if those tests have Bluetooth and they send out a signal
They do.
to rat you out.
He's leaving the house. Get him. I got under my boxes on. I got 3 minutes.
Hey, you know, maybe the gal who was taking the subway in New York who got pushed in front of the train.
that's terrible.
Isn't that something?
Yeah,
You know,
that happens a lot though. That's not an
Yeah.
uncommon occurrence.
I'm
in New
pretty
York.
big on
I don't teach her to stand so close to the edge of the tracks.
it's not her fault. You
When I was
know?
a kid, I saw a guy jump in front of an L train.
Yeah.
I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, that
Was the train okay afterwards?
no, it got dented, but now they can get it through my elevator door.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Yeah. You
So
know,
the guy committed suicide, Charlie?
Yeah. It was pretty traumatic for me. I threw up.
I saw somebody in the Lake Merritt station walk out onto the BART tracks, no train coming, and go grab the third rail and get elected.
Oh,
Ooh, God.
That's a shocking experience.
yeah.
I hope he was a Republican.
Oh,
So today I got my information on how I can go online and watch all the movies that are nominated for the SAG Awards.
Ah,
And there are a couple of them I haven't seen, like the Guillermo del Toro film. I can't remember the name of it. Nightmare.
oh, that looks good.
And,
yeah, that looked good.
Nightmare at the Trump residence.
West Side Story.
Oh, I wanted to see that.
And what else? There are a couple other things. Because a lot of stuff that's nominated, it's on Netscape. It's on,
Netflix.
Netflix.
Well, I see that.
they might have been. Did Netflix have a number of their own originals?
Oh, yeah.
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 So that's why they're nominated.
Yeah. But I mean, there are some from Amazon. The Lucy Ricardo thing, what's her name, was nominated for that.
Yeah, Being Lucy or something.
Yeah,
Being
Ricardo's. Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of nice. Well, we have something to do, the wife and I now. I've been wanting to see West Side Story, so I'm glad that that's available to us.
Yeah. Now, who played the protagonist, the Maria person in that?
I can't remember her name now. She's a new actress.
Oh.
What are you talking about? The original?
No.
Oh, Nicole Kidman, I think.
Oh yeah, because the original had that Puerto Rican actress Natalie Wood.
Natalie Wood.
Natalie Wood. Maybe they can get AOC.
I hated the original. I hated it because, not using authentic people to be in it bothered
Hey,
me.
when you're a jet all the way.
Well, I mean, the only one in it who had
Yeah,
any kind of
documented.
Hispanic heritage was Rita Moreno.
Yeah.
The
I
rest
didn't
of
care about that stuff back then. I was only like 12 years old. So.
yeah. But I mean, I'm looking
that's-
forward to this because this one looks like it's a reimagining
But
of it. And it looks
Alex,
pretty good.
That's why they call it acting. If somebody who is not Puerto Rican can portray the role and do it, that's why they call it acting.
What do we want?
Why should someone have to be of that heritage to act in that heritage? On Yellowstone, the daughter, what's her name? She's actually English and has an English accent when she speaks, and she's not on the show.
The daughter is British, yes.
Yeah,
She's
and
British
but
actress.
when she's on the show, she doesn't have the British accent.
That's right.
Now,
You know why?
So
Because she's not playing a Brit. That's why, Phil.
right, but when she is not playing, she has a British accent. So does that
Well, I'm
mean
getting a little tired of that. I'm getting tired of all these Brits going to speak like an American classes over in England, and then coming here and stealing all the jobs away from good,
That
solid
guy-
American
Yeah.
actors.
that TV show Dr. House?
Yeah.
That guy had the same deal.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I always knew that Hugh Laurie was British. I had loved Hugh Laurie before he ever did House.
Oh, really?
But so the argument that you have that the West Side Story, that they weren't Puerto Rican and so you didn't like it. Well, these guys aren't American, and should we 86 those guys for playing that role?
It's really a stretch, though, when they had to brown up Natalie Wood. Nobody ever thinks of that as actually doing it in blackface.
Well,
you know,
that's why she fell off the boat.
bad
That was
Hispanic
brown face.
I thought that was a skin when I was a kid watching it with my
a
mom.
bad Hispanic what do you call it? A minstrel show.
He fell off the boat. She was the only type of wood that doesn't float.
That's right.
God.
You know something? How many times have you done that joke?
Never.
Oh, you've done it
Oh,
here any
bullshit.
number of times, right? Right, Charlie? You've heard it before.
I've heard it before too many times.
But not by me.
Oh, but
I
not
don't
by you.
know
Oh, well,
if
your
I-
rendition of it is just, it's your rendition is
I actually
the
just heard it the other day.
the Hamlet of Natalie Wood jokes.
Now, how old is that
Go back
joke?
to Republicans.
30, 40 years old?
Yeah, she died in the 80s or something.
80s, yeah. Well, Alan just heard it, so,
Right.
but he doesn't have a TV.
I got to tell you something. Years ago, I kind of asked the question about all of a sudden a tragedy would happen, and I always considered this the better part of the American. What's the word I'm looking for? the essence of what's so wonderful about America. And that was the people in a tragedy, when a horrible tragedy would happen, within 24 hours, there was a joke running around about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said, well, that's horrible. Isn't that horrible? Isn't that bad taste? And I said, no, it's the best way of disarming a horrible situation.
That's what cops do. It's called church.
Yeah.
What they do is, after a terrible incident,
Like when they shoot a black person. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, but
Terrible incident.
yeah. Now, and remember in San Francisco when we had the earthquake in '89, people came out into the street and they helped direct traffic and they were helping their neighbors. And even in New York after 9/11, I think that
I'm almost forgetting what the point I was going to make, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah, but I think people actually step up to the plate.
Yeah, well, anyway, I wondered where these jokes came from. Did you ever wonder about that? How there would be a tragedy, and all of a sudden the next day there'd be
Stockbrokers.
You're absolutely correct, Phil. Stockbrokers.
What?
It started
Back in the day,
Yeah.
stockbrokers were up early. They were calling all sorts of people. I got a friend, Paul. He was a stockbroker. That's where I used to get my jokes from. Because
and they would all talk to each other from New York and so on, and they would tell each other these jokes.
right, the space shuttle, the
Well,
Challenger.
the space shuttle.
I remember
What
that
would you
when
remember
we
the
had Christopher
Challenger
Columbus on
joke?
vacation all over
Space
Florida.
shuttle blew up. There were jokes 20 minutes later.
Yeah, but do you remember what the
Gallows humor. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
On the
Yeah.
chat room, you said
Yeah.
that, gallows humor.
yeah? But what do you remember? What it was? What it was? What it was
The
called?
joke on the Challenger.
Huh?
Yeah, I remember it.
I can't remember the specifics, but I
It was
remember.
where did Christian McCullough
I
go
have
for
several
vacation?
of them.
All over Florida. I think somebody told me.
No, here was the bit the first joke I heard that was everywhere, and that was, do you know why it blew up? Freebasing.
Yeah.
I heard that NASA. and
Too
a
soon.
What does NASA and a walrus have in common? They're both looking for a tight seal.
Oh.
See, it's funny, but our chat is not chatting. It says
Oh.
chat.
However-
They can't believe the jokes that are being told.
No,
on
it
this
says
show.
chat disconnected.
Christy McCullough, she told her husband, "You feed the dogs, I'll feed the fish."
Well, that's a good one.
Well, you reading these online or
I like
something?
that one.
No, I heard him a long time ago. So.
I couldn't
I'm
believe she-
surprised you can still remember them. Hey, the Kazakhstan.
She had blue eyes. One blew that way, the other blew that way. You started it.
Kazakhstan
Don't look at
government.
me like that, Alex. You said Challenger jokes.
Yes. What about Kazakhstan?
The government resigned in response to protests.
I don't have any jokes about that.
No, I just saw that headline. The whole government resigns because there were protests. I don't like you guys. Okay, I'll resign.
We tried that with
Hurt
Trump,
my
didn't we?
feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, there we go. Now I
No,
got
in
it.
this case, the government goes to jail because of Trump.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
was-
what about that guy from the Golden State Warriors? He's a minority owner, and he made a statement during an interview, and he said, "I don't really care about the Uyghurs," and he was asked, questions about China.
It's
and
Uyghurs.
so forth. Huh?
It's
Uyghurs,
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 yeah.
whatever they are.
Uyghurs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us, Phil, what are the Uyghurs?
They're Muslims, about 1 million of them, that are being used as slave labor. They're harvesting their organs to sell. They're trying to retrain them to be good communists and not Muslims. And no one in the
I saw a
West-
documentary about it tonight. There's a
Yeah.
very good thing coming out of Australia called this is the China Century, and each episode takes part of the problem that China's had over the century, and this one has to do more with China and its identity, and trying to make sure that everybody is all has a Chinese identity, and they don't like the idea that Tibet exists, and that the Uyghurs were a part up in the upper part of China, off to the west. They didn't like the fact that there were these other cultures They wanted only a Chinese culture in China.
So is that why? Well, they got Hong Kong, but what's the other island that
Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Well, there was a whole thing about Taiwan, how they wanted Taiwan also under the banner. They didn't like the idea that they considered themselves a separate China. You know.
But in Australia, the
Just
Chinese
watching that about
government-
2 hours ago, too. Yeah.
Yeah, really. The Chinese government owns almost all of the milk production in Australia. And I just heard, and I don't know if it was a credible source, but they have taken control of a lot of the wheat production and wheat storage that we have in the United States.
Yeah.
And
Don't surprise me.
Yeah.
it's, so they're going after the breadbasket. They don't have to drop a bomb. All they got to do is starve us.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, you have the guy's the head of China right now.
Xi Jinping or something.
Xi.
Yeah, great name.
Ping, ping.
Well, you do know when you see hear a name like Mao Zedong,
Yeah.
what the last name is of the
It's
family.
his first name.
It's the first name. Yeah, Mao was the family
yeah.
name. Xi Jinping Ping is his name. You know.
Imagine he
Like,
goes,
hi Ping, how you doing,
Well, you
Ping?
can call me Mike. What?
Where's your brother Pong? Hi Ping, hi
Yeah,
Pong.
you can play that game.
Yeah, whenever you test your computer speed, it says
You ping it. Yeah, you ping it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, he is like he's an old hardliner. You know, he wants to
Yeah.
get back to the old days. It's too late for China to do that, and I think it's an economic mistake to do it. Okay.
Well, they've got these missiles now. These
You've
supersonic
heard
missiles.
that the American tennis team is completely pulled out of the Chinese
No, that I
Olympics.
didn't hear.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
think that the Olympics should be political.
No, but the
and-
reason they're doing it is because China got political with a Chinese tennis player who nobody's seen hiding her hair up for the last 5 months.
That was that a woman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like the #1 rated tennis player in the world.
She said something negative about.
That's right.
China,
What she was complaining about is that she was molested by one of her coaches, and they didn't like that, and that's the last they heard of her.
Yep, and then she's gone.
So that's why, that's not politicizing it. That's saying this is what they were doing was politicizing it by arresting her or doing whatever they did with her.
There's a basketball player, and he just became an American, and he became a citizen. And he's been speaking out against China, and he's getting a lot of backlash, and he's been losing all of his endorsements because he's been saying that there's been abuses in China and with the Uyghurs, and he didn't want to put up with it.
Well,
And
there were a
also
lot of people that have the guts to speak up,
Yeah,
and
but he's getting a lot of backlash, and it's costing him financially to speak out in this country.
To speak out against what's happening with the Uyghurs.
Yes.
Why in this country?
Now he changed his last name to Freedom. I forgot his first name. Do you know who it is, Tony?
Who's that?
The basketball player that just became a U.S. citizen, and he changed his last name to Freedom.
The Chinese basketball player?
No, he's from Poland or some.
Somebody said Cantor. Is that?
Yes, yeah, that's it, Cantor.
Anthony, probably, yeah.
Yeah,
That was
Cantor.
from the chat room. Yeah.
Oh, and anyway, he's very proud to be American, and he's standing up for the people that are being abused in China, and he's saying that the basketball association is kowtowing to the Chinese just because it's financially prudent.
That is true.
Well,
Only against LeBron James because they're making a ton of money. I don't know the whole story, but I know because like you're saying, Phil, just to build upon that, Kant is taking a step out on that. Where LeBron's always outspoken against.
how much money do you?
They're cashing in on China, and they're being,
How much money do you think Djokovic is going to lose?
a lot of money.
Millions.
But that's not because of, that's because he lied and he wasn't vaccinated.
Yeah, but he refuses to
that-
get vaccinated, and so he lied about the fact that he had. I think he said he had COVID, and so therefore he had an exemption from his doctor, and blah 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 blah, and that just wasn't true.
Right. So that's of his own making. Now the other thing is.
But here's the funny part about it. Shecky, my friend Shecky brought this up the other day. They throw him out of Australia. They literally
deport
him, right? So he gets on a plane and goes to Dubai. Gets on a plane?
Well, he got good ventilation. What's that? Emirates Airlines.
Yeah.
Their first class.
Emirates, yeah.
Their first class seating has almost an egg-like thing.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, it's. I've seen pictures of it. It's pretty nice.
Now, what do they just fly? They don't fly around here, though, right? They fly out of the country.
Oh, Emirates? No, they fly all over the
Emirates,
place.
they fly out of New York. Yeah. They go to the.
It used to be Singapore Airlines was like the most luxurious. Now I think it's Emirates.
They go to the Mid East, but there's only one person on the plane usually. So.
With the tennis player on there, that's probably the way it was. But they have these like curtains that go around, and they have seats that are almost isolated.
Yeah, it's called first class these days, Phil.
Well, this is beyond first class. I've been, I fly
I
business
know they have these
first,
little
aviation.
egg-shaped pods and things like that.
Yeah.
They have those at the adult bookstore too.
Yeah.
What is it like?
I'm sure you're familiar with that.
Yeah. It has a little window in it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you put a Susan B. Anthony in, the window goes up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did a vinyl job in the $1 Talk to the Nude Girl on Columbus.
Well, I knew a
and
girl.
Broadway.
I knew a nude girl in one of the shows that did vinyl jobs.
Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah, I used to do the floors for this guy. He owned Tiffany's Massage Parlor. You knew him.
Yeah.
And he owned $1 Talk to a Nude Girl. And so they put this.
Which, if you ask me, is damn cheap.
Yeah, well, it was a long time ago. And they had this circular stage that would turn around, and then they had all of these booths. You'd walk into the booth, and there was like a window, but you couldn't see inside until you put a coin in, and then the window would lift up, and the girl would dance.
Yeah.
Is that how you made your money after high school?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. But anyway, so
Imagine putting those floors in.
I have a little bit of trivia for you if you want trivia for us to end with trivia. And I think this is late enough in the show that I wonder if the other day I got demonetized for a show in which I can't remember us saying anything. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't know why, and they kept me demonetized. So if I'm going to get demonetized, demonetize me for this. Do you know what they called the guys who cleaned up the peep show booths in?
Fluffers or
no, fluffers were women who got guys up for their scene.
Yeah.
I remember.
Here, you'll never forget it now that I tell you.
Yeah.
Scum dubbers.
Oh, really?
Oh,
They literally the guys that went in. If you ever went into any of those peep shows, and I did, okay, they smelled like Lysol. Somebody went in there and scrubbed the things down.
Or if you got in there before the cleaner got in there, you could slip in the booth.
Yeah, that could happen too.
A friend of mine told me that.
Those were the days. The only place you could see porn films basically was in these booths. But
Wow.
8 millimeter.
8 millimeter.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some other booths on the side that had the 8 millimeter projectors and
Well, they were
screens on the back
projectors.
of
They
the
were
book.
actually projectors that
You drop
ran.
quarters or tokens in.
Yeah.
You got to see 3 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, hey, listen, this has been
Before
a
your
small
time,
bunch of people, but we've had a nice time, and I think that's what counts, right? All you people in the chat room who don't never call the show.
They don't have microphones.
Oh, by the way, that's one of those. Okay. Anyway. Hey, listen, thank you, Phil. I always appreciate you sticking around after our little get together on Mondays. Charlie.
This is Wednesday.
Yeah, it's Wednesday.
Wednesday now. Yeah.
Huh?
It's Wednesday. I'm not allowed on Monday's show.
No. No,
You never said it, but
you're staying off of it as a favor to me.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
That thing it's getting huge audiences.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Just amazing.
You might have to do a Tuesday afternoon show.
No. I would not ruin the Monday show by doing a Tuesday show, because then that would just suck. Charlie, thank you so much. And of course, you're welcome on the Monday show. Okay. Tony's called the Monday show too, although Marjorie said, Tony, do you really have to call?
I enjoy listening to the show. I don't belong on that show. I like listening to it.
And Alan, thank you so much. Why don't you all give a big wave goodbye? I'll give a wave goodbye at you. There they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel for tonight. And I'm gonna let's see here. I'm gonna get rid of them. Okay, get rid of them so I can say goodbye to you. Jack Bishop is next with The Intersection over most of the same GapNet. We'll see you again tomorrow night, 10:30, same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? And please, get vaccinated if you haven't done so already. And if you haven't, wear a mask. Good night, everybody. Bye.